Hey, Decathlon Gamer, welcome back to PCM20. It's career episode 174. Giro, stage 10. Of course, this is the hardest Grand Tour we've had in a while, as we don't have any sort of Rodriguez, obviously. And then we have potentially 3 leaders, and still a little indecisive on which one to go for, other than ultimately decided that Kolda, who is just a climber and not a time trialist at all, is the only obvious choice that it's not him. It's either going to be Breck or AFP, and right now we ultimately ride for both, because AFP is a better time trialist, but Breck is a better climber, but he lacks resistance. So where to go, how to hold out with each one will kind of depend on what ends up happening out on track. And so for now, we desperately try to get both of them the best time possible, and then see where things are at when things develop later on. For now, Breck has picked up a handful of seconds, and today has a +3. And unfortunately, that's about all we have today, as the rest of the team, the race day condition is really bad. Part of that's down to the weather. Part of that is also down to an unfortunate situation. So we have 3 riders that came in with fitness peaks at the beginning of this race. It's stage 10 of 21 right now. And
the pack is increasing its work rate.
AFP and Breck were 2 of those 3. For Breck, this is an objective. So he's got that +1 and then had the fitness peak, so he was sitting on +3. AFP, something else right around this window is what his objective was. At the start of the season, I didn't quite know where we were going to be, what was going to happen with this team, and so I didn't alter the objectives, or at least not much. Let's go ahead and bring it on down as we head into the first and the biggest climb of the day. Cat 2, 76 might not be enough. Let's go ahead and up this to, let's say, a 79 initially. 3-minute gap to a 7-man breakaway group, and that group really just established itself since we've started this episode. There was that little hill back at the beginning, a little bit before that sprint point, and they were only about 40 seconds ahead at that point. They've now pulled that out to 2.5 minutes, but let's see what happens here. Currently, we sit 5th, 6th, 7th with those 3 riders. They're all still in contention, but like I said, Kolda, not the one that I'm counting on being the man. He will be sacrificed, and actually already has. He had a tiny opportunity, 10 seconds or so, but we used him to try to preserve the time of AFP, who again is not quite as strong of a climber. And then Breck, that's where he went off and picked up that 20 seconds. Gap now 3:15, so the gap is going out, and right now the climb is not intense. Today is a punchy day. You've got a lot of time from the last climb till the finish line, plus a descent. So it's unlikely that we're going to see much happen today, and today is not a day necessarily for us to be able to make anything happen, as the gap's now a little over 4 minutes. But that climb had the biggest chance of rocking the field a little bit, and I suppose it has. I mean, we're down to 147 in the Peloton, but that group gets back on just before we hit the next climb. We'll see if they have enough energy through recovery to stay on through this one. This is short and steep, 5K, but 7%. Okay, with that 79, we're doing okay. Johnson furthest back, but that drift is very gradual, and we've got a lot of time still to go before the next climb. But then we're going to have 4 in a row. So 4 in a row, that's going to be pretty hefty. Let's go ahead and get Talipov this time to go ahead and go get some water. It's 78K to go. We might just about make it to the end without having to get water again. But with 4 climbs, even if they're short, that might still be required one more time. 71K now. 146 in the Peloton. The 7 at the front have split off, so they drop 2 riders. And unless they come back together, that decreased firepower is going to make it a lot easier to catch them. That 4-minute gap already down to 2. And here we go. The double climbs begin, and let's also speed up just a little bit. Keep that effort to stay near the front. Ticket 81, we are not at full strength this time, so surprising with the length of that descent that we enter this one a bit less than at full firepower. Kolda caught behind a slow CCC rider, loses quite a few wheels, but he does get, well, he had gotten around him, but now he's back in front of him again. There you go. Kolda returning to position. Okay, again, fatigued, but not too bad off at this point. Kolda trying to stay away from the edge. Kolk getting caught out. That's Johnson getting caught out. Oh, AFP also getting caught out. Had a few bodies in the mix there. He dropped a lot further back than I wanted him to, but everybody's still... Oh, Johnson. Johnson was right there. He was like 2 bike lengths behind, and here he is missing out. And he's not even fatigued at all. You need to get back up there, buddy. Climb coming. Alright, meanwhile, Gel. Breck is the one who is lacking support at the moment. That's not what we want. So who is being protected? That's Kolda, so switch that up. Also up the effort here. As we are now pushing into the final 2 climbs, we'll go 84 at this point. Kolda to Otto. And Johnson's going to hit that climb here in a moment and try to regain. Gosh, he's got Yates and Bardet. You know what? Screw that. Otto. Goodbye. Okay, Killen and Kolk fading. Goodbye, you guys. 2 climbs to go. 61 left in the peloton. Do not want to be pulling Yates back up there, so... Okay, Killen we already set to Otto. Kolk now on Otto. Talpov is going back, and we'll set him to Otto, and then all of a sudden we're down to 4. So that is Kolda and Millar to protect. Talpov not dropped yet, but it's coming. Officially, he's still in the group. Now he's out, and now we're down to 33. And this is the penultimate climb, so we still have another one to go. AFP. That effort a little bit. Looks like there's a little push happening at the moment. We don't want to miss out on that. 27 left. Still 3 riders off the front. And that gap is about where it was before. They've just decreased their strength in numbers. 26 chasing 3, 2-minute gap. Chance of a stage win, but very unlikely at this kind of distance. 1 climb to... Oh, yeah. We just pulled back another 30 seconds before hitting the top. They had that over the KOM, and it looks like they might have sat up. They could have been competing for that KOM. All right, so 4 riders... out of 26 is definitely not a bad place to be. We'll get a little bit of recovery here, but we need to use the gel of Millar and Kolda. And then we need to up the effort to stay put. And we are 8K from the top of this Category 2 climb. I'm probably going to need to sprint train this on this climb, most likely. As I would imagine, there's going to be some sort of movement, some sort of attack coming. Good so far, and Gel's going, and there's an acceleration by Ineos. Let's go ahead and respond.
Says that a rider is down. Apparently, he didn't interfere with the race.
Okay, AFP follow Breck, and then we'll follow Kolda. So we'll protect the weaker rider. Not necessarily that that's the leader, but he's the weaker climber. So if he's further down the line, he's a little more protected, and we want to protect both. And Breck should be able to handle this climb relatively decently. So onto Millar. We're 6K from the top, and there's that initial attack already lifted. 5K. A minute to the front 3. Millar still leading it out. AFP, Breck still looking strong. Koldas, okay. Johnson's passed all those guys that were behind him. He is on auto, right? Yes. Millar hanging on for now. We're inside 4K. We're coming back on Lagak.
I can see a rider on the tarmac. Thank goodness he looks fit to get back in the race.
And Kolda will take over in a moment. 3K to go. AFP and Breck can definitely handle the remainder of the climb. Down to 22, so a few more riders are split off. Millar gets dropped. Only one rider with him. Here's the movement that we are protecting against. 1K to go to the top. Kolda out of energy, but right at the peak, and we've caught the final breakaway rider. Okay, get Kolda out front. Now we're in control, and that's 19 riders. We can sit up and allow recovery. AFP's fine. Breck is in great shape at this point. But again, this was, 20K to go to the finish. So even if he was solo, what are we going to gain? They're going to come back at us. And here's why. Here's why we were prepared. We're prepared to respond, not to attack.
A rider has just fallen.
Okay, next attack and next response. Lopez, Hagita, Yermakov pushing. And that's the last uphill swing. We've got a downhill right here. Somehow riders have gotten back on, even though there's a 99 at the front, but it's also Kolda, who's 72 downhill today. Not much better. Breck is now full strength as we push towards the line. And let's take a second. We are 66, 68, 66, 74. Better acceleration with AFP. $12K to go. I don't want to be at a 99, but I also don't want to let Lopez get away. Lopez sits third overall in 33 seconds, and here comes some attacks. Lancel, Sivkov. These guys are wasting a lot of energy with just 10K to go to do what they're doing.
10 kilometers to the finish line.
Kolda will sit on as Hagita now makes the effort to pull back. Lopez, who's somehow able to attack again. No idea how he's managed to do that, but okay. Gel for Breck. How is Lopez still attacking again after all of that? I mean, I know we had downhill. Oh, come on. A little minor split there. 6K.
There are just
Time to
5
gel.
kilometers left.
And now we're starting to see some movement in the groups. 4.5K. 3K. So Breck, accelerate. Into sprint territory. We're just 12 seconds back. We're still okay. 2K. Okay, 1.8. So Breck doing the lead out. And AFP now on the go. He gets the front start, but he's not a great sprinter. But can he hang on for a top 3? Oh, he will. He will. He's going to get second place. That's Yermakov for the win. AFP gains 6 seconds. And then Hagita, Rivera, Paulus, Yamaguchi. Come on, Breck. Cross that line. Come on, Breck. Where are you? Okay, that should be same time for 19 riders. Those 19 should have same time. Kolda is going to lose a little bit of time. In fact, almost a minute. Crossing the line in 20th. Top 19 do in fact get same time, so we saved Breck's energy to get AFP in position to have a go at the finish, and that works out brilliantly as we gain 6 seconds. And I honestly don't think that if we tried to ride solo with Breck, I don't think there was any chance. I mean, we saw it end up happening. And where was Lopez at the end of this thing? Was Lopez even in the group? Lopez was not in the group. Oh, no, there he is, 16th. So Lopez barely gets same time. He was at the very, very back end of the group, but there were attempted attacks. So we weren't the only ones having some energy and maybe thinking about having to go. Others were in similar position. So now, Yermakov, Sivkov, Lopez, McNulty, all still there. Yermakov gaining a little more time with that 10 seconds for the stage win, but we've recovered a little bit of time. So Breck still sits 5th at 1:40, and AFP in 6th at 1:47. So same position, but a little bit closer, 6 seconds closer now, just 7 seconds behind his teammate. And you figure when you throw in a time trial, at least right now, AFP has a clear advantage over Breck as the potential team leader. Even though he's 7 seconds behind, we know he's going to cover that off in a time trial, but we still don't know what's going to happen in climbs to come. You saw on that last climb, Breck was in great shape. He was on a +3. AFP was on a 0, but AFP didn't have much left, and that was just some hills. So gotta watch out. He could lose a big chunk of time in one of these stages. Kolda, we're going to do everything we can with Kolda to try to at least keep AFP on the go and keep him close. And then still use Breck as, as a unit, have them working together, but and then going late if need be, and Kolda staying with AFP like we did before. So that's the strategy, that's the tactics, and so far it's paying off well. AFP in good shape. We're looking still fairly good for a top 5. However, just keep this in mind. Yermakov is like an 82 overall. 84 mountain, not a good time trialist, but 84 mountain. We can't compete with that. Sivakov's an 82 mountain and 82 time trial. We're not going to compete with that. Lopez is an 82 mountain, but a weak time trialist. McNulty's an 83 mountain. So right now the top 4 are a pretty clear top 4. We're kind of fighting for 5th place. Yes, Breck is an 81 mountain, but he's a 69 resistance. So you have to take that climbing ability with a grain of salt. AFP, only a 78 mountain, only a 74 resistance, but he's a really good time trialist. So survival. And then Kolda, the 81 mountain, but only a 74 resistance and no time trialing ability. So again, team effort to fight for that 5th place. We got to watch out for Bernal. Hopefully Bernal, oh gosh, Sivakov is CCC, not Ineos. That's a problem. If Bernal was working for Sivakov, we'd be in better shape. 83 mountain, 78 resistance, not good time trial, but difficult to compete with. Rivera, 81. I mean, we're surrounded by quality climbers. This field is actually pretty deep. It's not the most difficult group that I've gone up against in this series, but it's a pretty dang tough one. The Giro, for some reason, has been attracting the best talent these last few seasons, and it's done so again. It really has. Maybe not quite as severe as... no, you know what? I think this is right about as severe as it's been in previous seasons. And we're on to stage number 12. It's the second of 5 mountain stages in this race, and it's a very big mountaintop finish at the top of Mont Zoncolan. So the biggest climb of the Giro. It's the unofficial Queen stage, and I underestimated how quickly we would reach the base of the climb. Killen has not finished his task of getting water just yet with 60k to go, so he's now fighting to get forward. And I still had my guys set to their regular Peloton flat terrain running pace, and that's allowed a couple of these guys to get scooted towards the back, like Talipov, Millar. We've got AFP back here a bit too far. These guys need to make their way back forward. And unfortunately, now I'm having to go at an 83 already on this first climb. We'll have some time to recover, but yeah, that's a little disappointing on my part that we went that first kilometer at full speed and with these guys a little off from where they needed to be.
There's a sustained rhythm at the moment. Some riders definitely won't be able to keep up.
That is the top of the first climb, though, and everybody's going to have made it, though Killen does not have much left, and Killen is going to begin his fade now. We do have a temporary split. We're in the second group on the road. Most of the riders back together now. 48 in the Peloton. One last little uphill section here in just a moment, and AFP is right on the back of this group here. Oh, that allowed things to come really back together. I would have been happy with 50 riders and my entire team here. So Killen, let's get back to protecting, and now we've got 44k to go. I need somebody with a little more energy, like, well, Talapov's right at the front. Where's Millar? Millar's a little further back. Millar is fresh. I'm gonna get him to take care of the water situation. Let's, I suppose, keep an eye on Millar. Come on, hand up, buddy. Hand up. You're already at the back. Oh, now you're at the back. Okay. Get that little split there. Back to 54 riders. That's good. Go forward.
The gap is widening. It's now more than 2 minutes. The Peloton seems content to
3 riders ahead. They're at 240, and they're opening the gap at the moment. That's allowing the Peloton to come back together. It's 108 riders now. That's not ideal. And there we go. Okay, so recovery is on. Johnson, Killen, Kolk still recovering. Everybody else already back up to full strength. In terms of the stamina effect, Breck is looking good as he was protected. AFP, Millar is looking good. Kolk is still looking pretty good. Killen, Talipov, Johnson feeling it a bit more than others, and Kolda is about the same as the leaders. So really just the 3 riders that were offering protection are the ones that are struggling here. Okay, you can see we're blinking red at an 82, and we haven't even started the climb yet. So let's get this to the 84. This is the penultimate climb already. And what are you doing back here, Johnson? You are protecting Kolda, and you're nowhere near where Kolda is. He has real issues with that. Have you noticed that, Johnson? I don't know what it is about him, whether it's his flat rating or what, but he really struggles to keep his position, the position he needs to be in. Gegenhardt's in the break. Yikes.
Oh, the list of those left behind goes on rising.
Pace. Look at the pace. I mean, everybody's blinking red except for Talipov and Breck at the moment. Talipov needs to now switch to protecting AFP, and then Kolk protect Kolda, and then Millar protect Breck. Kolda up to an 85, AFP up to an 85. It's a short descent, so we can't afford to go back too far, too fast. Final kilometer down to 63 now. Killen and Johnson, just sliding off the back at the very top peak. 56 riders chasing 1, and it's a small gap, so we're definitely looking at a win coming from here, which means Yermakov's going to pick up 10 seconds, right? Feels inevitable. Okay. And we've got 6 riders. That's not bad. 6 riders as we approach the final climb. Out of 45 here. That's a good number, good ratio. All right, coming up on the base. Very little recovery. In fact, nobody's at full strength. Kolk needs his gel right away. Millar and Talipov are going to need theirs fairly soon. And ouch! Look at this, Mont Zanklong. 1,700, 19 meters of climbing in just 10 kilometers. Average 11.9%. Insane climb. This is super hard.
This climb is feared by many riders. The percentages
Rivera,
are very high.
Paulus attacking right off the bat, and that's attacking our position. That's attacking our position. I don't have a choice here. Let's set an 84 AFP on the back because we've already discovered how that one works. And then we'll get cold on a -1. Not affecting him, actually. Not a change. That's good. Talipov, Kolk. Okay, Kolk. You are definitely a mountain guy. We want that 85. We got lots of kilometers here. It's okay if those guys gain a few seconds. We will use Kolk. There you go. There's that already starting to recover the position a bit, as those guys have made that initial. Now Talipov also better as a climber than a puncher. We're down to 7K, but the road also just got super skinny, and that could be a problem behind us as, yeah, you can see Kolda struggling to keep Millar's wheel. Breck and AFP are in the right position. Kolda now picks up a bike length. Talipov back off a little bit. Millar is also struggling, and then we're going to have to get Kolda ready. Millar slide out. And Kolda's got to keep going. That's a lot of time solo, and Talipov's done. 6K to go. 2 riders at the front. There's Yermakov. There's Martinez. Paulus and Rivera are the ones that have gone clear. Hagita now pushing. AFP is struggling.
Watch out. A team leader is falling behind.
Breck is still looking good. AFP needs to gel up right now, and he's lost the wheel as Sivikov is in that gap. Breck is going to gain a lot of time today over his teammate. AFP is going to have to... we don't even have protection for him. Nothing left we can do. This is where we have to go for Breck. Breck's going to be... this is going to be minutes. So Kolda's going to stay with AFP, and Breck's got to go clear. I want him to attack and leave this group and then get up the road. Kolda.
This climb features some dreadful percentages.
Okay, we'll see how many of those guys actually are able to hold that. Kolda not helping with AFP like he should. Kolda, I want you to wait. There you go. And now Kolda, let's change up your tactic to protecting AFP, and AFP is just going to climb as fast as he can. 4 kilometers. Okay, Breck, meanwhile, is wasted. That's Rivera, and then, yeah, Yermakov way up the road. Okay, here's Sivikov. Group of 5, so Breck still in it, but he's also toast himself. Sivikov, Hagita, Rivera, their position. We're looking at 11th for Hagita. Rivera is at 2:16. Paulus is 13th at 3:13. Sivikov going clear. The top 2, no surprise there. But Breck, if we can just about stay close with these 3, we'll be okay. Meanwhile, there's Bernal Lopez. There's McNulty way behind. He's having a rough day, but look how far AFP is. Can we do something about your heart rate here? No, just keep pushing. You're not going to recover on a climb like this. Kolda's just going to help bring you up. Okay, Breck has recovered. That's good. Breck's heart rate down, but with 1.5K to go. It looks like Paulus and Rivera have nothing left, but Hagita is probably going to attack this group. Maybe Paulus. Hard to tell, but Hagita looks strong. There's Yermakov for the stage win. 3-minute gap between these guys. Back to this group as well. Sprint. Sivikov takes second. We're going to lose a little bit of time on these guys, but ultimately we're okay there for Breck. Kolda, AFP still climbing the mountain. So that's 6th on the stage for Breck. This is going to be 14th for AFP. 6 minutes behind. Huge time gap. So I think he lost a little over 3 minutes to his teammate on that one. And that's just because he's not a strong enough climber. It's Mont Zancolon. That's big time on the climbing. I probably shouldn't have attacked with Breck. He would have had more energy later on. It did drop riders, though, including his teammate. Gap to Yermakov would have been much bigger, and Sivakov would have been much bigger, but I don't know if we ever catch Rivera, though, if he doesn't attack, so probably wasn't a bad move. Probably worked in our favor. We left a lot of guys behind and then still had enough to get all the way up until just before the finish. 3:04 ends up his gap. That's how big that difference was. Half a minute in the last 400 meters. But 3:04, that's a big gap. And then 5:37. So actually not as big as I thought. 2.5 minutes back to AFP. So new look in the standings. Still in 5th place. And just 8 seconds behind McNulty at this point. Rivera just 6 seconds behind. AFP out of the top 10, but still in a decent position at 7:34, where he could definitely flip that with 2 individual time trials. And one of those is coming up next, so we'll get a chance to see him right back up the order, hopefully. And Breck, as a decent time trialist, should at least be holding position. Should gain on McNulty, you would think, and Lopez, but some riders behind, like, well, take that quick look. Sivakov. How many are better than Breck? Ooh, Yamaguchi and Sivakov are the only ones better than Breck, and then AFP is right there with them. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. We stand to gain quite a bit of time on that next stage. But again, we'll see how much AFP gains over Breck, but both of them should be gaining time on most of their rivals. That time trial is coming next. Stage 14, stage 13 is another sprint stage. There's a lot of sprint stages here. And that does help us out a bit because that doesn't impact the times so much. Still a 1-2 in the under 25s. Lemicel's the only other one even in contention. We got the top 5 all wrapped up otherwise. And we still lead the team classification by 10 minutes. Nice. So there are good things happening here. That is going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button. I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.